Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Phatts TV on this Saturday night. What is it, February the 11th? Joining me, as always, in the upper left hand portion of the screen, the one, the only, non genetically proven son. How's it going?
Howdy. It's going.
I don't think so. We're on a new computer. Um, so for the time being, I can't use the camera that I normally use. So I'm on the USB camera that comes with the computer. Hopefully soon we'll have the other computer figured out. The capture card that I was using with the old computer doesn't work with the new computer, so we got to figure out a workaround with that. The music didn't play, I think because I had the volume turned off on that page part, so excuse me. If anybody's watching, which I know you are, just let me know how the sound sounds between both me and the non-genetically proven son. So anyway, how the heck are you?
Just wonderful, I guess.
Sound really
Oh
excited.
yeah.
I'm flying high, fine as wine, as always. Having ourselves a big and rich time. I got a hooker to the left of me, hooker to the right, and I'm stuck in the middle of them. So, it's our Super Bowl preview show. But before we talk about the Super Bowl, let's start with a recap of something we spoke about last week. For our bowling friends, that is the US Open.
Woo!
New format this year. They are taking the top 9 to a stepladder, a 2-day stepladder event. So first off, what were your thoughts of doing that?
Um, I think it's the PBA's way of trying to make money they don't have, or
Explain.
Fox's way of saying we have nothing to show on Saturday, so let's just show this.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a one-time only, just for the US Open.
They did it for the Oklahoma Open like 2 years ago.
Yeah, as a test balloon. You notice it didn't come back until the US Open.
I don't care for it because no one on on the show that's other than the 5 seed is probably ever going to win.
You mean run the ladder on day 2, you mean?
Yeah, but the 5 seed is going to win probably more often than not, or the 6 seed.
Well, not necessarily. Anybody could get hot at any particular time.
Yeah, but it's not like a normal step ladder or you're bowling in the title match to make the next show. So the 1 seed should probably win more than often.
Okay.
Because they're not tired, they're not bowling on TV. They just go and bowl.
Yeah. So,
I don't really care for the format. I think it's just a mimic or a meme, basically.
a gimmick.
A gimmick, yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't in love with the format either. Um, it's kind of like given a monetary participation trophy
Pretty much.
to those that, are making, the day one step ladder now. But it does give more people the opportunity to win, which I think is probably what the PBA was trying to attempt to do.
I don't think any 9 seed should be able to win the US Open. Sorry. Even if I won the U.S. Open, yeah, probably, but I don't deep.
Yeah. Oh well. What are you going to do?
Not much.
That is true. That is true. Do me a favor. Take your phone.
Yeah.
Take your phone and log into our show and see if you could hear us. So the PBA moves on this week. The finals are actually going on as we speak. The top four. Pretty good, Jonathan. I am doing well. Uh, the top four. The top four are bowling in the finals.
Can hear us.
Okay.
It's a little. My audio's a little off, but
Okay.
yours is fine.
Okay. So the top four are rolling right now in the finals of this week's tournament. And who are the top four again?
I remember. Give me a second.
Francois Lavoie, I believe, was one of them.
Yeah, Francois, Jacob Butcher, Sam Cooley, and Kevin Williams.
Okay. I recognize three out
So
of the names.
Francois, a very, everyone knows who Francois is. Butcher, lefty, double jointed wrist. Cooley won on Cheetah last year. He's from Australia. And Kevin Williams is a two-handed lefty.
The rare two-handed lefty.
Yeah. He threw probably a purple hammer for all 36 games.
Well, they are bowling on Wolf, correct?
Yeah, under the 18 variations of Wolf, they're on a 34-foot variation of Wolf now.
So,
And the
go ahead.
center they're bowling on had this weird, after 4 games, down lane won't hook. So all of a sudden, then a lot of people get steep.
Interesting. So you seem to have a problem with this.
Well, I don't understand. The PBA is trying to basically ban urethane. They're doing as much as they possibly can to ban urethane with the softness problem, of whatever that actually is, because they never want to release numbers. But so you can't have a urethane ball older than August of 2022 or something like that now. It's like a 6 month period. Um, but then they go out and put out patterns that people are just going to throw urethane on. If you want to ban urethane, don't put out 34 feet. I heard a couple pros talk about that, the on YouTube, because a lot of players post YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just well, they want to ban urethane. They just put that. I'm not a big porter person. But yet I like IPAs. We don't need to talk about that.
Right. So yeah, very interesting. So what should you have said to this gentleman? This gentleman that was old enough to be your daddy.
I don't say you're a bitch.
Like, ma'am, can I buy your beer for you?
Yeah, really. No, I should have said something about our podcast. We've been talking about light beer for 3 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said that he was a.
I don't think he would have punched you in the jaw.
What, was he gonna slap me with his purse?
Yep. He probably had a man purse.
He might have.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. So we here at Phatts TV, we are going to stomp out the beta male. The beta male. If you want to be a beta male, please go over to Europe where there's beta men. In America, we drive truck. We drink real beer. We wear flannel. And we fuck our women.
There you go.
We don't have sexual intercourse. We don't have coitus. We fuck our women. Slap
We
them on
don't
the
have
ass.
coitus.
We don't have man buns. We don't wear skinny jeans anymore. We're men. Men.
No.
Men. We watch football. We don't watch football. All right, some of us do.
They watch rugby too.
Sure. Well,
Do they not?
I don't know what the European male watches.
The European male likes rugby and cricket.
Cricket, there's the sport. They break after the 17th inning for a spot of tea. Like, cricket, there's this little ball that you bounce and hit, and the guys wear like a face mask like college hockey players.
Hey, that ball is rubber. That thing would hurt.
Excuse me?
The ball is rubber.
Yeah. Yeah. It
That
wouldn't
would
hurt
hurt.
it wouldn't hurt an alpha male. It'll hurt a beta male
Let
who
me throw a
orders a light beer
lacrosse
at a
ball at you
brewery.
and tell me how you like it. I'll throw a lacrosse ball right into like your hip and tell me when you're limping the next day.
Men. On to the Super Bowl. Looking at the latest odds, the Eagles are a 1.5 point favorite with an over under of 51.
Okay.
Kansas City opened up as a 2 point favorite 2 weeks ago. And the line quickly shifted to the Eagles as a 2 point favorite. Then it settled back at 1.5, and it's been pretty much 1.5 since. The over-under's gone up a little bit to 51. So, how do you see the game going?
Well, I'm not really sure what Kansas City's going to be doing with Mahomes. I don't know how his ankle is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think Kansas City's going to have to pass the ball quite a bit. I think they're going to be trailing the majority of the game. I If the Eagles get the ball first, I think they'll go right down and score,
Okay.
and that'll set the tone right then and there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're going to be behind. I think the game will be close the whole way.
Okay.
I see most of the scoring coming from passing. I don't see running being all that effective on either side.
Okay.
But I see it coming down to a final play between, is it going to be Kelsey or is it going to be AJ Brown? And who's going to make the big play?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's what quarterback is still hurt? Because let's face it, both quarterbacks are hurt. At least they still were in their last
Right.
game. So now you've given them 2 weeks off. Who got quote unquote more healthy? To me, it's probably Mahomes. I think without a doubt, Jalen Hurst, you're going to find out by the end of next week, is having surgery. If you go back and watch his games, since he's gotten hurt, he's not throwing much to the right side of the field, and he's not very accurate deep anymore. I don't think that's the kind of injury that heals itself without some assistance. So I think he's going to be
Right.
going under the knife sooner rather than later. Mahomes, those kind of injuries, they say, are 2 to 5 week injuries to heal. So now this is week 3 with that injury. So it could be healed, it could not be healed. So you think the Eagles are going to lead for most of the game? You think they're going to get the ball? If they get the ball first, they're going to drive down the field and score, which they've done 11 times this year so far. I keep going back, and I've been saying it all year. You have to keep looking at how easy the Eagles' schedule has been. I'm going to give you a list of names. I'm just going to throw out some
Okay.
names. Just going to throw out some names. Kyler Murray, Cooper Rush, Kenny Pickett, Davis Mills, Taylor Heineke, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, Andy Dalton, Davis Webb, Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy, Josh Johnson.
They haven't beat a top 5 quarterback.
Those are the quarterbacks the Eagles have played since week 5.
You could argue they haven't even beaten a top 10 quarterback
None of those quarterbacks are in the
this
top
year.
10. None of them are top 10 quarterbacks. None. They faced 2 quarterbacks who are in the top 10. And they both faced them early in the season. They got to face Jacksonville when Jacksonville was playing bad. They got to face Tennessee when Tennessee was playing bad. That was their 2 home games against a weak AFC South. Their 2 road games against the AFC South were Houston and Indianapolis.
2 of the worst teams in the league.
They barely beat both teams. I mean, normally when you go on the road on a Thursday night, you're asking for trouble. especially if you're traveling over 850 miles and they got to play Houston on the road on a Thursday night. The average quarterback rating of all the teams that they faced, 67.9.
It's good.
I'm going to give you the two quarterbacks that falls in between. Justin Fields and Mac Jones. In that list of names I gave you, I'm going to say all of them are better, are not as good as Mahomes.
Not this year, no.
No. No. The only one that may have been better at any time was Aaron Rodgers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Ryan was pretty good in his day.
And then he choked away a Super Bowl.
And ever since then, he's been trash.
Yes. Yes. So, as I said, they faced two quarterbacks in the top 10. They faced five quarterbacks in the bottom 10. By the way, Andy Reid is 28-4 off of a bye week. That includes bye weeks in the playoffs. So, I think where the Eagles are glaringly better, their defensive line is better than Kansas City's offensive line. Their wide receivers are better than Kansas City's secondary. Kansas City's secondary is very young. But if Jalen Hurts is still injured and can't throw the deep ball very accurately, does that neutralize some of the Eagles' advantage? If Mahomes is
Potentially.
if Mahomes is at 90%, does that neutralize the advantage of the Eagles' defensive line being better than Kansas City's offensive line? Let's go back and look at those quarterbacks again and see which ones are quote unquote scrambling quarterbacks. Kyler Murray, I would say yes. He doesn't scramble as much as he used to since he got hurt. Cooper Rush, no. Kenny Pickett, no. Davis Mills, no. Taylor Heineke, for a white dude, yeah. For a white dude.
Sure, I'll give
Matt
you that
Ryan, no. Aaron Rodgers, no. Tannehill, no. Daniel Jones, no. Justin Fields, yes. Dak, no. Dalton, no. Webb, no. Purdy, no. Johnson, no. Kind of falls right in line to what the Eagles want to do. I mean, the Eagles' path to victory is very simple. Get on a lead and let your defense just tee off on quarterbacks that are drop back passers. That's not going to happen in this game. Unless if Mahomes is only at 50%, which maybe he is. We don't know that. Would you like to rebuttal or retort anything?
Oh, I think if Mahomes even if he's at 50%, he'll pretty much go to the lengths to break his ankle to win.
Agreed. Agreed. So, What do you see the final score of this game being?
I have a final score: Eagles 26, Kansas City 24.
26-24. So you have the Eagles covering marginally and the under covering marginally.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have Kansas City winning this game 29-21. So
29?
29-21 KC. So we both have 50 points. Did you say 28-22? Or
26-24.
So you have 26-24 Philly. I have 29-21 Kansas City. I will say, as a person who likes to put some shekels on the game, I don't like a side in this game. I really don't.
Neither do I.
There's too many variables. When you're dealing with both quarterbacks being injured, that's some big variables in this game. If they were to come out and tell me right now Mahomes is at 90%, then I would feel a lot more comfortable. So what I would do is I would play 2 6-point teasers. Since the line is still at 1.5, I'm going to tease Kansas City up to 7.5. And then I think you could play the over-under either way. You could tease the under up to 57.5, or you could tease the over down to 24.5. I mean, 44.5. And I think you'd win either bet. So, but if you're going to force me to play a side, I will take Kansas City. If you force me to play a total, I will play the under. And it looks like if you're forced to play a side, you'll take Philly, but you also like the under too.
Right.
Okay. So now we have our prop plays. So we had to pick 5 prop plays. One of them being it has to be at least plus 500. So that is our special prop play. I actually have a lot more than 5 prop plays.
I have 8.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21.
All right.
21 that I like. I couldn't win them all because I got 3 players to score the first touchdown of the game. So obviously that can't happen.
Oh.
But I'm getting what I think are really good odds on all 3. So if one of them were to hit, even if you just put $10 on them, you're going to be way ahead. But they're not part of my 5. So we'll save our big plus prop play till the end. So what's your first prop play?
Mine's a simple one. It's just A.J. Brown to score a touchdown. Plus 105.
A.J. Brown. Yes. Touchdown. Plus 105. Okay. All right. My first one is I'm going back to Jerick McKinnon, but I'm going to go under 5.5 rushing attempts. That guy cannot run the ball.
Yeah, he's a running back.
Against Cincinnati, he had 1 rush for positive yards, I believe, if I remember reading the stats right.
I think we're stable now.
Yeah, give it a sec. Give it a sec. All right, so your second prop play.
Jalen Hurts' longest completion over 37.5 yards.
Wow.
Minus 115.
7.5 long comp minus 115.
Yep.
So my telling you he's been very inaccurate with throwing the ball long is not scaring you off of that play.
He can do a 15-yard pass that they run for 20 yards.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Okay. My second is sticking with rushing attempts. Miles Sanders over 12.5 rushing attempts at minus 120 as well. He averages more than that a game. He averages somewhere between 14 and 15. Now, my only concern is he's been doing that while the Eagles have had leads most of the time. I don't see the Eagles having big leads in this game at all. So, out of the ones that I'm most worried about, that's probably the one. All right, your third one.
Since I think this is going to be the lead of their offense, Kelsey to score a touchdown.
Travis Kelce, yes, for a touchdown. And he's somewhere around
minus 135.
Minus 135. Where'd you get minus 135 at?
DraftKings.
All right, so that line has really gone up, or DraftKings sucks because last night at both Play Live and Barstool Sports, it was at 124.
Oh, wow.
I do have that as one of my extra plays, but not in my first five. My third pick though is a Travis Kelce play, and that's over 7.5 receptions. I think they're going to get him the ball often. And at over 7.5, that's plus 100. So it's even money. Some books have it at over 6.5, but you're going to be laying a lot of juice. It's somewhere around like minus 160. So I'll take laying the less juice with getting one more catch. Your fourth play.
My fourth play is there will be no interceptions in the game.
No interceptions. No INTs. Is that that should be plus money?
Plus 210.
Plus 210. Wow, look at you go. Look at you go. My fourth play is sticking with receptions, but this is reception yards. Kadarius Toney over 28.5. Reception yards at minus 112. And now for the big play. The play that has to be plus 500 or more. Your play is.
So I don't know if this fully counts because it's like an in-app parlay. Like it's one bet, but it's like a parlay.
It's fine with me.
Like it's two bets.
It's fine with me.
So AJ Brown to have 50 plus reception yards in both halves.
50 yards
plus 800
in both halves. Plus 800. Okay. Okay. Well, that goes against one of my extra plays. One of my extra plays is no player with 100 plus receiving yards at plus 275. But that's fine. My plus 500 play is plus 1,200.
Wow.
It's a big one. And that's Travis Kelce winning the MVP.
Okay.
Now, normally, it goes to the quarterback.
Right.
Now, both Mahomes and Jalen Hurts are minus money. I don't see anybody on Philly. If Philly wins the game, I don't see anybody but Jalen Hurts that could win it. Maybe Miles Sanders if he scores like 2 touchdowns in the game and has like 80-some yards passing. But you're gonna give me Travis Kelce. He can realistically wind up with double-digit receptions in this game. And he can have multiple touchdowns in this game.
Right.
So if that happens, I really, really like his chances of winning MVP. So you said you had 3 extra plays.
Yes.
And they are.
I have Jalen Hurts to have over 300 passing yards, plus 310.
Hurts over 300 yards plus 310.
I have Jake Elliott to have more than 2.5 PATs, minus 115.
Jake Elliott, more than 2.5 extra points plus what?
Minus 115.
Oh, minus 115. Uh-huh.
Then I have the MVP to be a wide receiver,
MVP
plus 650.
any wide receiver plus 650. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Here are my extra plays. And we're going to start with touchdown scorers. Travis Kelce at minus 125. Jalen Hurts at minus 115. And Dallas Goedert at plus 190. I'm also going to take a little bit of money and play both of or those 3 to score the first touchdown in the game. You'll get Kelce at plus 650, Hurts at plus 700, Goddard at plus 1,300. My extra plays are from the shortest odds to the longest odds. The first one being there will be more than 1.5 fourth down conversions. That's at minus 200. Then I got Kansas City to score more than 2.5 touchdowns. That's at minus 167. Then I got each team to score more than 19 points. That's at minus 137. I got under 2.5 turnovers. Minus 124. And all the rest of my plays are plus. One of them is even money. And that's, yes, there will be a 2-point conversion attempt. Just has to be an attempt at plus 100. Here's one that's a little bit of a surprise. I'm surprised the odds weren't higher on this, but I'm getting plus 104 that Kansas City has more sacks than Philadelphia. Despite the fact that Philadelphia has only 3 losses, so they were running the ball a lot. They gave up a full sack more per game than Kansas City did this season. So I'm going to take a chance and take Kansas City has more sacks than Philly. That's plus 100. I'm getting plus 145 that there will be a roughing the passer penalty in the game. Then I got, as we talked about earlier, plus 275, no player with more than 100 yards receiving. I'm getting plus 280 that there will be a made 2-point attempt. And last but not least, at plus 750, I have Travis Kelce being the top point scorer in the game. Again, if he's going to win the MVP, he has to be the top point scorer in the game. He's going to have at least two touchdowns in the game. So those are all the prop plays that I'm looking at. Don't know for sure if I will play them all, but we'll see. We'll see. Are you even planning on watching the game?
Not intently, no.
Okay.
Will I have it on? Probably. Will I watch it? No, it'll be on my computer. I probably won't watch it in my living room.
Okay. What do you see yourself doing on a Sunday night at 6:30?
Play an Xbox, maybe?
Okay.
Talking to friends online? I don't know.
Okay.
If I find myself not doing that, then yeah, I'll probably go watch it, but I'll probably be like scrolling through social media while watching it.
Okay.
Or making dinner. Maybe I'll make a nice dinner during it. Or, actually, no, I have different plans. After wrestling tomorrow.
It's a shame that we can't, like, when you watch something on TV compared to what I do, you're a good 30 seconds behind me, so we can't, like, live stream at the same time.
Yeah. The difference between using a satellite and an app.
Yep. Yep. All right, so that's our show for tonight. So with this being the end of the football season, on our quote unquote Friday night shows, we're still going to do some sports, but we're not going to be like 100% sports like we normally are. We're going to do some other stuff. We'll have some more fun. More fun than, like, we already have fun, but we're going to have even more fun.
Well, I called it like the Phatts banter. We're gonna turn it into some sort of sports banter.
We're going to
So
banter.
I'll come up with random crap we might talk about. Like I have a couple ideas that I'm like in my head thinking about like how could we do that? And maybe to get some sort of fan interaction out of it.
Maybe we should have a Miss Phatts TV contest.
Miss Phatts TV.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Interesting idea.
Where the winner gets a year's supply of
Simon Eyes.
Simon Eyes.
And everyone's like, what? What is that?
Simon Eyes. Don't think they have much of a use for Simon Eyes.
Probably not.
No.
They somehow have a 1950s muscle car. I just have my doubts.
But I am going to look forward to the bikini part of the competition.
There you go.
And, of course, the interview. So why do you want to be Miss Phatts TV? We will not be doing an evening gown part. I can promise you that. That's way too formal for us here on Phatts TV.
Way too formal.
Way too formal. Way too formal. We are going to bring back Do you want to announce it? What we're going to bring back?
Brackets.
Brackets. Brackets. We got to think of a good bracket to come back with.
I actually just thought of one.
So we've done candy. Who was the winner of the candy bracket?
Reese's Peanut Butter
Reese's
Cup.
Peanut Butter Cup, which was the overall number one seed, if I remember correctly. We did
I believe so,
a
yes.
sitcom bracket. Who was the winner of the sitcom bracket?
All in the Family?
Was it All in the Family? And we
MASH.
MASH.
Might have been MASH.
And we did a music bracket, which had an upset. So what we did for the music bracket is we took the last 64 years of number one hits.
64 years.
And
yeah, it was a little misleading because the ones that won were the true top seeds.
Yeah, but the way we seeded them, it wasn't a number one. A number
it was
one
like
seed.
It was like a 12 seed because back in the 80s there was many popular songs.
Yeah. So what song won? Do you remember?
It was Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
I Love Rock and Roll.
I Love Rock and Roll.
Because we seeded them based on how many weeks in that year were they the number one song. And in the 80s, songs didn't last more than 10 weeks.
That is correct.
So, and then back, nowadays they last months.
Because music sucks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in the 80s, there were so many good songs. There was only one good song a year, but there could have been 10 songs from 1984 that probably could have made a bracket.
Yes. And that also just.
I just thought of one, but I don't know if we can come up with 64.
All right.
Greatest sports moments ever.
Greatest sports moments ever. Well, no one says we have to do a 64 bracket. We could always do a 32 bracket.
Yeah.
So if we were to do a greatest sports moment,
1980 something. 1980 something.
1980 Winter Olympics.
In the Olympics. That's gotta be. You gotta start finding.
So when Barry Bonds broke Babe Ruth's or Roger Maris's home run record.
That could be a number one seed. I think what it ended up turning into is like each side of the bracket is like a sport. So we find like 8 football moments, 8 baseball moments, 8 something, and then like maybe a random one that's like not a main sport. I have to lobby this.
For some reason. We will be with you next week. So from all of us here at Phatts TV to all of you, have a safe, happy, and healthy week. We will see you next dropping my volume. I don't know what the hell's going on with this thing. All right, I'll call you on Facebook in a minute.